Today we are going to discuss measure of central tendency, specifically mean of group and ungrouped data in statistics part 1. Before anything else, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified for my upcoming videos. Thank you!
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Before we are going to discuss measure of central tendency, let us define first what is statistics. When we say statistics, it is a field of mathematics that deals with the collection, organization, analysis, and interpretation of quantitative data. When we say collection of data, it is a process of gathering information from the population. Next, we have organization of data. It refers to the systematic arrangement of data into tables, graphs, or charts so that the logical conclusion can easily be derived from the collected information. Next, we have analysis of data. It refers to the process of deducing relevant information from the given data so that the numerical description can be formulated. And lastly, we have interpretation of data. When we say interpretation of data, it is all about deriving conclusion from the data that have been analyzed. It also involves making predictions or forecasts about the large group based on the gathered data from small group. Fields. There are two fields of statistics. The first one we have descriptive statistics. When we say descriptive statistics, it consists of collection, organization, summarization, and presentation of data. In this field of statistics, the statistician tries to describe a given situation. And the second field of statistics is what we call inferential statistics. In this area of statistics, it is concerned with drawing of conclusions about large group of data called population. Based on the selected elements of that population known as sample, in this field of statistics, the statistician tries to make inferences from samples to population. This area also makes use of the concept of probability. Measure of central tendency. Measure of central tendency. A measure of central tendency or measure of central location is a summary measure that describes a whole set of data with single quantity that represents the middle or center of its distribution, the way in which a group of data that cluster around a central value. In short, this is a measure that tells where the center of the data is located. The most commonly used measures of central tendency are the mean, the median, and the mode. The mean, represented by this symbol, the bar X, also called as the average or arithmetic average, is the most commonly used measure of central tendency. It is said to be the most reliable measure of central tendency and has the least probable error but does not supply information about homogeneity of the distribution. How to find the mean of ungrouped data. The first type of mean of ungrouped data is what we call simple mean. Simple mean, where the weight to each value in the dataset are equal and can be found using the formula mean is equal to the summation of x sub I over n, where the summation of x sub I is the total sum of the data and n is the total number of data. Example number 1. The ages of 5 contestants in Mathematics Quiz B are the following: 18, 17, 18, 19, and 18. Find the mean or average of the age of the contestants. So all we need to do, we are going to use our formula. Mean is equal to the summation of x sub I over n. So to do this, so in the numerator, we are going to add all the ages of the 5 contestants. And in our denominator, since there are 5 contestants, so our n is 5. So as we are going to simplify now, so the total sum in the numerator is 90. Then our denominator is 5. So as we are going to simplify 90 over 5, or we are going to divide 90 divided by 5, our mean is 18. Therefore, the mean or average age of the contestants is 18. Example number 2. What is the average salary of the employees in a certain company? Their salaries are as follows: 23,500 pesos, 24,300 pesos, 27,800 pesos, 22,800 pesos, 25,700 pesos, 20,000 pesos, and 25,000 pesos. To find the average salary of the employees, we need to sum up the data, which are the salaries of the employees, and divide it by 7. Then we can say the mean is equal to 169,100 pesos divided by 7. Therefore, the mean or the average salary of the employees is approximately 24,157 pesos. Another type of mean for ungrouped data is what we call weighted mean. Weighted mean is a mean calculated by giving values in a dataset more influence according to some attribute of the data. It is an average in which each quantity to be assigned a weight, and these weightings determined by relative importance of each quantity on the average. And this can be found using the formula mean is equal to the summation of the weight times the data all over the summation of the weight, where the summation of the weight times the data is the total product of the data and each corresponding weight, and the summation of the W is the total sum of the weight. Example, Pedro bought different fruits for Christmas. He bought 4 pieces of orange at 20 pesos each, 6 pieces of apples at 15 pesos each, 3 pieces of papaya at 10 pesos each, and 2 pieces of watermelon for 65 pesos each. What is the average price of each fruit that Pedro bought? Okay, the solution. So we are going to assign it in a table so that we can easily identify the weighted mean. So for the first column, we have the fruits. The second column for the quantity, which is the weight, and the cost per unit for the third column, which is our x sub I. To find the value of the next column, so all we have to do is we have to multiply the column for the weight and the x sub I. So we have 4 times 20 pesos, 6 times 15 pesos, 3 times 10 pesos, and 2 times 65 pesos. So we come up with 80 pesos, 90 pesos, 30 pesos, and 130 pesos in the fourth column. So in the fourth column, we have to sum up all the total cost, which is equal to 330, and we are going to sum up all the weight or the quantity of the fruits, which is 15. So we are going to complete our mean using the formula. Mean is equal to the summation of the product of the weight times the x sub I over the summation of the weight. So as we are going to substitute now our value, so mean is equal to 330 divided by 15, so that is equal to 22. Therefore, the average price of each fruit that Pedro bought is 22 pesos. Example number 2. Find the general weighted average of Maria's grade in probability and statistics subject. Consider the following grades of Maria below. So we have the components, written works, assignments, prelim, midterm, and final. And each component has corresponding weight. Shown in the second column, written works is 30%, assignments 10%, prelim 15%, midterm 20%, and final 25%. In the third column, the grade of Maria in each corresponding components. So for the written works, 85, assignments 90, prelim 82, midterm 95, and final is 88. As what you can see in the second column, the weight is in percent form. We have to convert first the percent into decimal by dividing the numerical by 100. So if we have 30%, that becomes 30 divided by 100, which is 0.30. 10%, 10 divided by 100, which is 0.1 or 0.10. 15% becomes 15 divided by 100, which is 0.15. 20%, 20 divided by 100, which is 0.20. And 25% is 25 over 100, which is 0.25. So as we are going to do our mathematical computation, the third column would be 0.30 times 85, which is equal to 25.50. 0.10 times 90, that is 9. 0.15 times 82, that is 12.30. 0.20 times 95, that is equal to 19. 0.25 times 88, that is equal to 22. To get the value of the summation of the weight times the x of I, we have to sum up all the values in the fourth column. So we have 87.88, and to get the value of the summation of the weight, we're going to sum up the second column, so which is equal to 100%. To find the general weighted average of Maria's grade in probability and statistics subjects, then substitute on the values summation of the weight times the x sub I, which is 87.88, in the summation of the weight, which is 100%. And take note, 100%, as we are going to convert into decimal, divide 100 by 100, so that is equal to 1. Then the mean is 87.80 or approximately 88. Therefore, the general weighted average of Maria's grade in probability and statistics is 88. Then we are done with our illustrative example for mean of ungrouped data. And let us now proceed to our mean for group data. To find the mean for our group data, we're going to use now the formula. Mean is equal to the summation of the frequency times the midpoint over n, where m is the class mark or the midpoint of the class interval, f is the frequency of the class interval, n is the total frequency, and the summation fm is the total sum of the product of the midpoint and frequency. Okay, let us have an example. Consider the frequency distribution below. Find the mean of the distribution. Okay, this is our given table. So when we say group data, the data is organized in a frequency distribution table, which is the first column is the class interval and the frequency for the second column. How to find the mean for group data? So first is we have to find the midpoint or the m, the column for the m. What are we going to do is we're going to add 75 plus 79 divided by 2, that is equal to 77. Next, we have 70 to 74. So 70 plus 74 divided by 2, that is 72. 65 plus 69 divided by 2, that is 67. 60 plus 64 divided 2, that is 62. 55 plus 59 divide 2 is equal to 57. 50 plus 54 divided by 2, that is equal to 52. 45 plus 49 divided by 2, that is equal to 47. Next is find the column for the FM. So when you say FM, the product of the column for the frequency and the column for the midpoint. So if we have now this one, 5 and 77, if we have 5 for our frequency and its corresponding midpoint 77, so we have 55 times 77, that is equal to 385. 7 times 72, which is equal to 504. 8 times 67, that is 536. 10 times 62, that is 620. 7 times 57 is equal to 399. 9 times 52, that is equal to 468. And 4 times 47, that is equal to 188. So after this, we are going to sum up all the product of the frequency and the midpoint. So if we're going to sum up all of these numbers, so we have the summation of the FM, which is equal to 3,100, and our N here, we are going to sum up all of the frequencies in this column. If we are going to sum up all these frequencies, the N is equal to 50. So the next thing we need to do is we are going to substitute now the value of the summation FM, which is 3,100, and our N, which is 50, into our formula. Mean is equal to summation FM over N. As we are going to substitute, so 3,100 divided by 50, mean is equal to 62. Therefore, the mean of the distribution is equal to 62. Example number 2. The heights of 40 senior high school students in a certain school are presented in frequency distribution as shown below. Find the average heights of senior high school students. So this is our frequency distribution table, the class interval with its corresponding frequency. So first thing we need to do is we have to complete the column for the midpoint. So to complete the table, so if our first interval is 48 to 52, so we are going to add the upper and the lower limit. 48 plus 52 divided by 2 is equal to 50. 53 plus 57 divided by 2 is 55. 58 plus 62 divided by 2 is 60. 63 plus 67 divided by 2 is 65. 68 plus 72 divided by 2 is 70. 73 plus 77 divided by 2 is 75. 78 plus 82 divided by 2 is 80. Next is we are going to complete now the column for FM. So by multiplying the column F and the column M. So the first is 40 times 50 is 200. 7 times 55 is 385. 7 times 60 is equal to 420. 8 times 65 is 520. 6 times 70 is 420. 6 times 75, 450. And 2 times 80 is 160. After we are going to complete the column for the FM, we are going to sum up now the values for the FM. As we are going to sum up all of these numbers, so the summation of FM is equal to 2,555. And as we are going to sum up all the frequencies, our N is equal to 40. After we already have the values for the summation FM and our N, let us now substitute the values to our formula. So mean is equal to 2,555 divided by 40, which is mean is equal to 63.88. Therefore, the mean or average heights of senior high school students is 63.88.
And that ends our video discussion at this moment. Thank you for watching. But before you will end this video, please do assess your learnings by answering the self-test activity. Thank you.